everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to our podcast series on AI on Alert. The podcast particularly is focusing on the generative AI and its role in transforming the network traffic analysis. We are going to explore today the cutting edge of cybersecurity and then the technology, the cutting edge technologies like AI, how it is going to help in cybersecurity and technology. I'm your host for the day, Mohan. Uh, we are going to talk about and also take a deep dive into how GenAI is revolutionizing the network traffic analysis, a key tool in our fight against cyber threats. I'm also delighted to introduce and welcome our guest for the day, Srihari, an AI expert, uh, an experienced AI solution architect, and a cybersecurity researcher with over 25 plus years of experience. Welcome, Srihari.
Thank you so much for having me, Mohan. I'm really excited to take a talk about this topic. It's an area that's truly changing the game of cybersecurity.
That's good. So let's start with a bit of a background and introduction here. Traditionally, network traffic analysis is pretty straightforward, using static rules, signatures to spot trouble, and take any actions based on that. Shriri, could you explain how the traditional methods of work are basically falling short in today's environment?
Okay, absolutely, Mohan. Thanks. Think of traditional systems like having a checklist. If something matches a known threat, it sounds the alarm. Okay. For example, if a known bad IP is detected, the system flags immediately uh, an alarm. Okay, but nowadays cyber criminals are much more creative. Okay, and I recall working with a company where their old systems failed to catch a slow data leak simply because it didn't fit any predefined pattern. That experience showed us we need something far more flexible and adaptive. Uh, that's where we entered generative AI and utilized the generative AI for the solution.
That's a good example. Thanks for sharing, Shriri. So, instead of relying on the fixed rules, GenAI basically learns from the data. It's like having a seasoned guard who knows the place inside out and can instantly spot when something is not quite right. So, let's also spend a few minutes on how GenAI actually works when it comes to the cybersecurity network traffic analysis. Can you please walk us through the process, particularly from the data collection to the automated incident response? In a way, is it really easy for to make it easy for our listeners to understand and then follow and for an implementation?
Of course, imagine you are managing a busy train station. Okay. First, you need to track every train coming and passengers going data. I mean, you need to collect the information of each train coming and passengers data, how they are behaving. Okay. And in an ideal situation. So, tools like Wireshark and Zeek, okay, gather information from every corner of your network. It could be traffic logs, it could be DNS queries, it could be firewall alerts, or even Slack messages. Even details about user behaviors. Okay, so once this data is collected, Gen AI starts to learn with looks like how a normal situation looks like. It builds a baseline of normal activity, then it uses transformer models, and then it flags deviations. So it's like our station master who learns the daily rhythm of a station. Then if some unusual happens, like a train arriving at a odd time, odd hours, or a suspicious passenger appearing in the station, so he will have a he will have he can observe the difference there. Okay, so Gen AI raises a flag when there is any unusual happens. So it uses unsupervised learning to cluster behaviors and spot outliers. Okay, I remember a retail business that experienced an unusual surge in late night traffic. Okay, so it turned out someone was trying to siphon off data slowly. Okay, the system caught the anomaly in time and allowing the team to shut the breach down before the serious damage happened. So, and once a threat is detected, the system can automatically, just like security guard, who not only spots trouble but immediately locks the doors or alerts the police. Okay, GenAI can isolate compromised devices, update firewall rules, and send alerts in real time in clear, okay, easy, and they can see the dashboards and figure out what are the changes happening and alarms, abnormalities in the dashboard. Okay, with that help they can make decisions and alert the team to review trends and make smart decisions quickly.
Thanks for the real world story and thanks for sharing it here with us today. Could you share with us another story where GenAI was made a specific and significant difference when it comes to network security?
Definitely, Mohan. So one story that stands out of mind is one of financial institutions I worked with. Their old systems was like a smoke alarm. Okay, that went off every little small changes, puff of steam, um, lots of false alarms and distractions for each and small alerts and distractions. It will give the alarm actually. Okay, so with Gen AI, they finally got a handle on their network. One day, the system quietly flagged a low volume persistent data transferred that had gone unnoticed by traditional methods. It turned out that someone was gradually exfiltrating small chunks of data over several weeks, actually. So, because GenA was finely tuned to recognize normal patterns, it caught that subtle whisper of a threat well before it is escalated into major breach. It also recalled a tech company that was rapidly expanding. Okay, they needed to streamline their security with adding endless manual checks. With the Gen AI, they automated many incident responses. When a threat was detected, the system would automatically isolate affected devices and adjust firewall rules. This automation saved their security team countless hours and helped prevent potential downtime.
Great example. Thanks for sharing with us. So now let's look at organizations taking up the implementation of GenAI using GenAI for network traffic analysis. What are the hurdles typically organizations experience and come across, and how do they basically handle them and manage them end to end?
That's a great question, Mohan. One major challenge is that adversities of getting smarter. um, they might try to trick the AI by feeding misleading data. Okay, so sort of like planting fake clues to throw off a detective or divert a detective to identify threat. So real issue. So there's also the issue of privacy here, right? So processing so much of data means companies needs to need to do more extra careful actually about complying with data protection laws. I remember one instance where a company had to comply overall its data handling procedures just to integrate AI responsibility. There's also the cost and complexity involved in this. Okay, implementing these systems isn't just about buying a piece of software. Okay, it requires the right expertise to manage and fine tune them. And then there are ethical concerns as well, such as ensuring that the AI isn't basically by the data itself it's trained on. All these factors means while Gen AI is incredible powerful, it its deployment must be handled thoroughly and responsibly.
Thanks, Shreyari. I think that's a very clear explanation. Let's also focus on the future trends and then integration strategies. Maybe can you share with us what trends and strategies do you see really shaping up for the future of Gen AI in network traffic analysis?
I'm really excited about several trends in AI. First, I want to highlight on edge computing. That's a big one. By processing data right where it is generated, like on IoT devices, okay, so or at local network nodes, we can cut down response time significantly uh, in that areas. Why? Because you can um, using small language models, you can embed that or you can deploy that into IoT devices, and you can reduce the network traffic. Okay, another important trend is explainable AI or XAI. This is all about making decision making of AI systems transparency. Okay, so imagine a detective who not only solves the case but also explain every clue that led to conclusion. This transparency builds trust with both security teams and regulators. Lastly, third, I want to highlight on the federated learning is gaining attraction. So it allows multiple organizations to collaborate by training AI models on decentralized data without sharing sensitive uh, information. This means that banks, hospitals, or even governments can benefit from each other's data insights while keeping their data secure. Actually, it's a win-win situation scenario that could fundamentally transform how we approach cyber security on a larger scale.
Thank you, Srihari. That's a wonderful sharing of the strategies, particularly. Can you also, share with us and our, listeners about the best practices, particularly for the integration of AI into the cybersecurity network frameworks?
Great question again, Mohan. First, it's crucial to start with a clear understanding of your current landscape, basically. Okay, and map out what's normally looks like in the system. Okay, this will be a baseline for AI to detect anomalies accurately. Okay, next, invest in high quality diverse data. So there should be a variation in the data in your data set. Okay, the more comprehensive your data, the more reliable your AI model will be. Good. And next one is another best practice is to ensure that your team is well trained not only on the technology part but also interpreting the outputs from the AI. Okay, even the most advanced systems needs human oversight actually, and it's wise to start small. Uh, Begin with a pilot project in a specific part of your network, test thoroughly, and then scale up as you go confident as you gain confidence in your system. Finally, stay on top of regulatory requirements and make sure AI practices are ethical and transparent. This proactive approach will save a lot of headaches in long run, Mohan.
That's a great sharing of insights. Now, I think we are heading towards the conclusion of this podcast. So, It's very clear to us GenAI is indeed redefining the network traffic analysis. In fact, helping us with the threat detection very fast, in fact, smarter too, and far more proactive. Srihari, what final thoughts would you like to share with our listeners when it comes to overall GenAI or adopting and embracing GenAI in cybersecurity? Your views, please.
I would say that while there are challenges in the for implementation, the benefits of using Gen AI in cybersecurity are immense. Okay, it's like upgrading from a basic alarm system to have expert detective on duty 24/7. Okay, the with cyber threats evolving every day, adopting AI driven solutions isn't just an option. It's essential for staying ahead. Okay, investing in these technologies now will make your network far more better and resilient and secure in long run edge.
Good. Shriri, thank you very much, first of all, for sharing a lot of insights and foresights too, and backed up with clear stories from real world. Appreciate it. It's been truly enlightening conversation for us, and I'm sure our listeners also would like to, learn a lot from this podcast, and they are likely to get a very clearer picture, particularly on how AI is transforming the network traffic analysis.
Thanks, Mohan. It was pleasure discussing these ideas in a way that everyone can understand. I hope our conversation inspires organizations to explore the potential of Gen AI in securing their networks. Okay. Uh, Thank you very much.
Good. I would also like to thank our listeners for tuning in to AI on Alert podcast today. Listeners, if you enjoy this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your network. So we'd like to conclude and wrap it up. Stay safe, stay smart. Bye.